In the golden age of Hollywood, behind the shimmering lights and the polished smiles, a deeper story was unfolding, one that few dared to speak of. A story about identity, race, and survival, in a world that worshipped glamour but feared difference. Before Halle Berry made history as the first black woman to win an Oscar for Best Actress, and long before Keanu Reeves or Dwayne Johnson dominated the big screen, there were pioneers, biracial actors who carved their place in an industry that didn't know how to define them. They fought quiet battles, hiding their heritage or embracing it, depending on what Hollywood would allow. And in doing so, they changed the face of film forever. One of them was Merle Oberon, the enchanting star of Wuthering Heights, who spent her life concealing her Indian roots. Born in Bombay to a British father and a mother of mixed Indian and Maori ancestry, Oberon lived behind a carefully built lie. Her studio created a false story claiming she was born in Tasmania to British parents, even destroying records to protect the illusion. She denied her own mother and never returned home, terrified the truth would destroy her career. Yet, ironically, it was her mixed heritage that gave her the exotic beauty audiences adored. Then came Carol Channing, the dazzling Broadway legend who shocked the world at 80 by revealing her father was black. For decades, she had hidden this truth, knowing that in old Hollywood, being mixed meant risking everything. Her father had warned her, saying, "You will be stigmatized," and for years, she carried that secret, even as she lit up the stage in Hello, Dolly. But when she finally spoke, she embraced her heritage with pride, proving it was never shame but strength. Freddie Washington's story was the opposite. In the 1930s, she could have passed as white, but she refused. Born in Savannah, Georgia, she stood tall and declared, "I am a Negro, and I am proud of it." Her decision came with a cost, limiting her career, yet it also defined her legacy. She played a light-skinned black woman passing as white in imitation of life, mirroring the very choice she refused in reality. Washington later became a civil rights activist, fighting for fair representation in Hollywood, paving the way for generations to come. Ramon Novarro, the heartthrob of the silent era, also faced the weight of identity. Born in Mexico with Spanish and Yaqui ancestry, MGM transformed him into a Spanish lover, ignoring his indigenous roots to make him palatable for American audiences. His stardom was built on half-truths, yet his talent made him unforgettable. Dorothy Dandridge, however, was the face of courage, becoming the first black woman nominated for an Oscar for Carmen Jones. Her light skin gave her access to roles others could not get, but studios drew invisible lines, refusing to let her appear in love scenes with white actors. Her talent was unmatched, yet prejudice chained her potential, leading to heartbreak and tragedy at just 42 years old. Anthony Quinn, the Mexican-Irish powerhouse, could play any ethnicity but his own, from Greeks to Arabs to Italians, yet rarely a Mexican. His versatility was his strength and his curse, as Hollywood preferred him to be anyone but himself. Still, his performances in Viva Zapata and Zorba the Greek made him a legend. Canada Lee stood tall as a man who refused to compromise, rejecting demeaning roles and using his fame to fight for civil rights. Hollywood punished him for his courage, labeling him a communist and blacklisting him, a decision that broke his health and career but never his spirit. Josephine Baker, America's loss, became France's treasure. Rejected in her homeland for her mixed heritage, she found freedom in Paris, where she became an icon of beauty, resistance, and art. She fought for the French resistance during World War II, earning military honors that her own country denied her. Jennifer Jones, the Oscar winner who quietly carried her Cherokee heritage, allowed Hollywood to sell her as purely white, even when playing mixed-race characters in films like Duel in the Sun. Her silence reflected the fear that many shared, that revealing the truth meant losing everything. Lena Horne, however, refused to bow to that fear. She signed with MGM but demanded dignity, banning any maid or servant roles in her contract. Hollywood limited her to musical numbers that could be cut for Southern audiences. But Horne stood firm, later marching in Washington for civil rights and using her fame as a platform for justice. James Edwards, the actor who brought power and grace to films like Home of the Brave, rejected stereotypes and portrayed black characters with depth and humanity. His mixed African American and Native American roots gave him a perspective that enriched every role he played. And finally, Ricardo Montalban, the Mexican-born actor who became a Hollywood mainstay, used his fame to fight Hispanic stereotypes. Whether playing Khan in Star Trek or founding the Nosotros Foundation to support Latin actors, he refused to be defined by Hollywood's narrow vision of race. Together, these 12 stories paint a powerful picture of resilience, courage, and identity. These stars lived in a world that told them who to be, yet they found ways to shine through the masks they were forced to wear. Their struggles remind us that Hollywood's glamour has always hidden deeper truths about race and representation. So next time you watch a classic film, remember the courage behind those faces and the silent battles they fought for visibility. Their legacy still echoes through every diverse face on today's screen. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon to discover more untold stories